प्रोडक्ट बना देंगे, लोग अपने आप खरीद लेंगे. हम भी यही सोचते थे कि प्रोडक्ट बना लेंगे, लोग अपने आप खरीद लेंगे, या फिर हायर कर लेंगे किसी को इस काम के लिए. बट आई थिंक फाउंडर्स एक कंपनी के पहले सेल्समैन होते हैं, और उनको होना बहुत जरूरी है. दे हैव टू बी द बेस्ट सेल्समैन, बिकॉज इफ दे वोंट सेल देन योर कंपनी इज गॉन. मतलब फॉरगेट अबाउट इट. यू कांट हायर पीपल फॉर एवरीथिंग इन द स्टार्ट.
क्या आप भी कॉलेज में खुद का स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं, या फिर आप एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में जानना पसंद करते हैं? Stay tuned for today's session. Hello folks, welcome to the new series named Interaction with Entrepreneurs, where we discuss the amazing journeys of various entrepreneurs. Today we have a very special guest amongst us, whose name is Shivanshi Verma. She is a co-founder of Yoboshu Cares startup and is a recent graduate of IIT Ropar. She also has 77,000 plus followers over LinkedIn, where she actively shares about her journey. Thank you so much, Shivanshi, for accepting our invitation and coming up to the show.
Thank you so much, Madhur. I am very happy to interact with you today.
Before we proceed, do like and share the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe the channel for more such videos. Let's deep dive into your journey, Shivanshi. So, how did you develop your interest towards entrepreneurship?
So, my interest toward entrepreneurship, it developed when I was preparing for JEE. So at that time, I used to look at people who have their own business or their own startups, and I used to see that how big of an impact they are able to create. So that's when I thought that when I'll go to college, I'll also do something of my own. I didn't know what I'll do exactly, but yeah, I wanted to do something of my own, and that's how all this began.
Yeah, that's a very nice way of thinking. Through their initiatives, entrepreneurs are able to impact the lives of various people, like finding the common problem that most of the people face, then providing them the solution through their services and products. It would be really amazing feeling to see that impact.
Definitely, when you create something, it's like your own child, and when someone uses it and they get benefit from it, that's a whole different feeling. Like it can't be described in words.
Yeah, that's a really nice analogy of parent and child with respect to entrepreneur and startup. Completely agree. So what was the biggest learning from your first startup experience?
So my first startup was Swero, and it was based on hyper local delivery. So it's pretty much like today's Zepto, but a slower version of Zepto. So we used to deliver within 3 to 4 hours. My biggest learning from that startup was that sometimes the timings are not right, and timings are very, very important for the success of any startup. At that time, it was a pre-COVID time. It was in 2018. Nobody has had this habit of ordering stuffs online, because this behavior of ordering online, it was developed during COVID. So at that time, very small sector of the population, they used to order from outside, or they used to order online. So that's why we couldn't sustain, because there was not much demand. Firstly, second thing was that we sometimes feel that if we would have waited for 1.5 years, then we could have used this COVID opportunity. So we think sometimes that we might have missed that part. We might have missed an opportunity, but it's okay. So I think sometimes having patience in this journey is also very important. We don't know when the timing is going to be right.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of entrepreneurs generally focus too much on the quality of products or their past experience and other factors. But usually timing plays a very key role in the success of any business.
That's exactly right.
So can you tell something about your current startup, Yoboshu Cares?
Yeah, definitely. So at Yoboshu Cares, we help people lose weight and keep it off forever without dieting. And how we do that? So we have behavioral psychology at the core of our startup, and our aim is to help people develop healthy habits that they can sustain for their lifetime. So that's what we're doing here right now.
Yeah, that's a really nice initiative of helping people in their journey of becoming a more better lifestyle. And it's amazing to see the application of behavioral psychology in entrepreneurship and the way the company is doing that part.
Thank you so much, Madhur. Because if you look at the weight loss industry of India, or you can say for the world, so mostly people think that dieting is the way to go. if they have to lose weight, they have to restrict calories, they have to diet, right? And they have to quit all sorts of their favorite foods like burger, pizza, and everything. But that's not true, because you can follow diet for some times and you will see the results. So you can follow it for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but a threshold comes after which you just don't feel like doing it anymore. You feel demotivated and you crave badly for your favorite food, and that's when people, they end up eating whatever they left, and they end up gaining the weight back again. So it's a yo-yo dieting cycle in which people get stuck. And we at Yoboshu, we are taking people out of that cycle and giving a permanent solution to their weight problems.
Yeah, that's very true. Dieting seems to be like a forced kind of response that people are using temporary to get rid of this problem. And definitely it doesn't work in the long term in most of the cases.
That's right.
So can you share about your journey of pivoting during your current startup?
Yeah, sure. So this our first product was, we used to aggregate various trainers and gym centers and nutritionists on our platform. So that was the worst performing product of all, because when we launched that product, we got only 3 customers in more than 4 months, and we were like so terrified, we were so scared, and we felt so bad that we spent months building that product. We literally used to sit in the room and just code and build the product. When we launched, we built something which no one wanted, and it was a very beautiful looking product. And that's when we also learned that it's important to talk to the people and understand the problem deeply. It's not just कि आप रूम में बैठ के बस कोड कर रहे हो, अपना बना रहे हो. You have to go and listen to the people out there. फिर उसके बाद से came our second product. There we used to sell diet and exercise plans. So हमारा जो aim था वो शुरू से same था, that we have to help people prevent these lifestyle diseases. So when we launched this diet and exercise plan, so people started taking it, and we started generating revenue for the first time in the history of Yoboshu. But after 4-5 months down the line, we started seeing that most of the people, they are just tired of writing. They don't want to do it anymore. And third, they are badly craving to go back to their original lifestyle, to eat what they wanted to eat. And as a result, a lot of people started regaining their weight back. And then we thought that, is it something wrong with Yoboshu, or is it a problem in general? So we looked at other companies. We looked at various studies about dieting and about its long-term impact, and we found out something very interesting, which changed the entire course of Yoboshu. We found out that more than 90% of the dieters, they regain their weight, and they get stuck in a yo-yo dieting cycle. They diet to lose weight, they end up gaining it back again, and again they diet to lose weight. They get stuck in this loop. So we thought that we have to get people out of this problem, and we have to make a permanent solution of it. And that's when we got a team of researchers from behavioral psychology, nutrition, food science, physical activity, and all of them, they researched for more than 8 months to build this current product, which is about losing weight sustainably without dieting. So this was a history of our entire Yoboshu.
That's really nice journey. And I think that's why Y Combinator uses this tagline that builds something that customer wants, because majority of the startups fall into this trap where they build some really nice product after working for so many months, but at the end they find out that it's something that customer doesn't actually needs. So it's a really
That's
nice journey.
Yeah, that's exactly true, and it's very frustrating to get something in the market which nobody wants, because when you finally get it there and people are not using it, so it kind of hurts your soul from within, that I spent so much time and nobody even wants it. It's like complete wasted of time. Of course, you get a few learnings out of it, but your time gets wasted a lot.
Yeah, very true. It took a lot of efforts and time for many months to build something, and when one sees that it doesn't get the appreciation and use from the customers, then it really feels very bad at that time.
That's true. That's true.
So how did you overcome the situations when people told you that इसका startup का बहुत जल्दी उतर जाएगा at the starting?
Yeah. So वो बहुत ही ज्यादा एक अजीब टाइम था। मैं अपने सेकंड ईयर में थी, सेकंड नो थर्ड ईयर में थी। आई वाज इन थर्ड ईयर आफ्टर लॉन्चिंग दिस प्रोडक्ट एंड पीपल यूज्ड टू मेक फन ऑफ अस कि इनके ऐप से बुक कर लो आप ट्रेनर्स, इनके ऐप में मिल जाएंगे ट्रेनर्स, एंड वी हैड अ वेरी लिमिटेड ट्रेनर्स एंड दे यूज्ड टू से इन अ वेरी टू मॉक अस कि कुछ भी नहीं है इनके पास लिटरली। एंड personally I used to feel very bad. Even Sandeep, my co-founder, we used to sit sometimes and think ki how to get out of this situation. But at that time, resilience and patience helped because we thought that अभी startup ही है जो भी है और कुछ नहीं करना और कहीं नहीं जाना, इसी में ही we have to figure out a way. So it took us 1 or 2 months time to figure out कि ठीक है exactly हम क्या करें. तो अब लोगों का तो था, लोग तो बोलते ही हैं. So we used to feel bad, but then we thought that no, this is how the path is. Hardships come in everybody's way, and you have to deal with them. There is no other option. So we used to just listen to them and we used to work, and then we got this diet and exercise plan thing, and it started generating revenue. And then we were kind of like happy initially that okay, we have built something that people are paying for. But again, after that also we had to pivot because that didn't work out in long term. Yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah, that would have been really difficult times, because whenever someone starts doing something different and new, then a lot of people start pulling them downwards and try to prevent them from doing something different. So it would have been really tough time.
That's true. And even my parents, they used to think that now the third sem, because after third year there's there's a compulsory internship you have to do, and in fourth year the placement starts. So it was the end of third year and we still couldn't figure out what to do. And I was like that how will I convince my parents to I decided that I won't sit in placement, I won't do any job. So I used to think that how will I convince them, what will I say to them? They're spending so much on my education, giving lakhs of fees per year, and they have worked so hard to get me this far. So I used to worry a lot about that, but thankfully by this summers in June itself we figured this out and it started generating some revenue.
Yeah, like it says that sometimes if one keep persevering for something, then at the end they are able to reach the destination that they eventually started out for.
That's true. That's true.
So how did you overcome the feelings of having plan B in your college, especially during placement time?
So honestly, I didn't have plan B ever. Before starting, when Yoboshu wasn't even incorporated, before that only I decided that I won't sit in placement. And it was like it's not that कि मन में थोड़ा डाउट था कि नहीं ठीक है हुआ तो बैठ जाएंगे, नहीं था बिल्कुल भी डाउट, मतलब पता था अंदर से कि नहीं करना है वो तो बस ये था कि किसी तरह इसको फिगर आउट कर लो कि कुछ स्टार्टअप हम लोगों को सर्व करना है, यूजर्स को सर्व करना शुरू कर दें, बस वही चैलेंज था उस टाइम पे. बट प्लान भी ऐसे कभी नहीं था मेरे पास.
Yeah, that was a really challenging decision taken by you. Like a lot of people are looking for various kinds of plans, even C, D also. But
Yeah.
you stay on the path of doing entrepreneurship that you really love doing.
Yeah, and I won't even say that it's wrong to have a plan B. I didn't have it because many times even with me in my batch in my there were some seniors to me and some juniors to me who did their own startup, but they end up quitting it. They had their plan B, they went for some job, and now they're doing it happily. So it's okay. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's such a frustrating and mentally tiring journey. Every day you have so much stress and so much things to deal with. So it's okay. It's not everyone's call, but yeah, I felt that it was for me. So that's why I decided not to go for placements.
So how did you transform yourself from non-salesperson to calling hundreds of users for sales?
Okay, so that's an interesting question, and it was very very hard for me because sometimes when you call and you pick up the phone that hello, I'm Shivanshi, co-founder of Yoboshu, and sometimes people just cut the phone on your face and they say that okay, I don't have time, don't call me, don't do this. Okay, and sometimes people they just don't even pick up and they cut it the call, right? They block you straight away. So that was very very frustrating, and I personally felt I took it on my own that मुझे बहुत गंदा लगता था कि यार कैसे मेरा फोन काट दिया, कैसे बात नहीं कर रहे हैं लोग मुझसे. एंड आई यूज्ड टू समटाइम्स सिट एंड कभी-कभी 2-3 दिन तक तो मैं करती नहीं थी कॉल कि मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, आई डोंट नो हाउ टू डू. बट ओवर टाइम माय को-फाउंडर संदीप ही केप्ट पुशिंग मी कि नहीं करना पड़ेगा, यू हैव टू डू दिस टू, अगर Yoboshu सक्सेसफुल चाहते हो देन वी हैव टू डू दिस. So then we used to call people, keeping our ego and everything aside, and we thought that okay, calling is better than failing, so let's call. And फिर धीरे धीरे आदत पड़ गई लोगों से बात करने की. Over time it developed, and I think every salesman, everyone, they go through this journey. शुरू में hard होता है सबके लिए, but एक टाइम आएगा जब बहुत बार आप कर लोगे तो you will get immune to it, you will be fine with it.
Yeah, that's very true. Like काफी लोगों को ये दिक्कत होता है शुरू में कि वो लोग सेल्स पार्ट को कैसे देखें. उन्हें लगता है कि बस एक अच्छा सा प्रोडक्ट बना दे और लोग अपने आप खरीदना स्टार्ट कर देंगे. पर ऑब्वियसली मतलब ऐसा होता नहीं है. लोगों तक रीच आउट करना काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड इट्स अ रियली फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग जर्नी.
हाँ, ये बहुत आपने सही बात बोली कि प्रोडक्ट बना देंगे लोग अपने आप खरीद लेंगे. हम भी यही सोचते थे कि प्रोडक्ट बना लेंगे लोग अपने आप खरीद लेंगे या फिर हायर कर लेंगे किसी को इस काम के लिए. बट आई थिंक फाउंडर्स एक कंपनी के पहले सेल्समैन होते हैं और उनको होना बहुत जरूरी है. दे हैव टू बी द बेस्ट सेल्समैन, बिकॉज इफ दे वोंट सेल देन योर कंपनी इज गॉन. मतलब फॉरगेट अबाउट इट. यू कांट हायर पीपल फॉर एवरीथिंग इन द स्टार्ट. एंड इवन इफ यू डू, जो आपकी फीलिंग्स है, जो आप अपने प्रोडक्ट की तरफ फील करते हो, वो कोई और बंदा नहीं फील करेगा जब तक आप खुद उस काम को नहीं करते. तो आई थिंक फाउंडर शुड बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सेल्समैन.
Yeah, that's very true. As you said, that founders are the first salesmen of any company.
That's right.
So how did you overcome the feelings of college में सब मजाक बनाएंगे मेरा when you just started about your journey?
Okay, so that was also very very strange kind of phase. So हुआ ऐसा कि after my first year I mailed, मैंने एक broadcast mail किया that we are starting a startup. तब तक incorporate भी नहीं हुआ था, we just had this idea. So I just mailed that we have this startup, we are looking for some app developers, website developers. मतलब एक दो रोल लिखे, is someone interested to join us? So we got एक दो people वहाँ से हमें लोग मिले. बट फिर जहाँ पे मैं जाती थी तो पीपल से अरे स्टार्टअप कर रही है, क्या कर रहे हो, मतलब दे यूज्ड टू मॉक कि क्या करने जा रहे हो, कुछ भी टाइम पास कर रहे हो टाइप्स. और आइडिया क्या है, आइडिया तो कुछ खास नहीं था तब, तो बड़ा मॉकिंग टाइप हुआ तब. बट ठीक है, मैंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया था कि अरे तो होगा ही, फाट है, बस एक काम से सुनो, काम से निकाल दो, जस्ट डू योर वर्क.
Yeah, that would have been really challenging time when you started out, and it's really very essential to listen to the people's voice and ignore them when they start pulling us down in our own path of doing something really very different.
That's right.
So what was the most difficult time for your startup till now, and how did you overcome that phase?
Okay, so the most difficult time was when our product, like they were, I don't know which one to select. So I'll tell about two things. So first one was that it was during the COVID times and product हमारा नहीं बना था. Now जो हमारे आर्ट डेवलपर थे, जो हमारे डेवलपर्स थे, जो उस मेल के थ्रू आए थे, now उनके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं था योबोशू. They didn't care about it. कई कई दिन निकल जाते थे पर कुछ भी काम नहीं होता था ऐप पे, प्रोडक्ट पे, टेक साइड पे जीरो काम होता था. और हम लोग ऑब्वियसली अपना पैसा बर्न कर रहे थे, राइट. यूआई डिजाइन के लिए हमने बहुत पैसे खर्च किए थे उस टाइम पे, जो कि नहीं करने चाहिए थे. बट इन शॉर्ट ये था कि टेक्निकल टीम ढंग से काम नहीं कर रही थी और मुझे संदीप को कोडिंग बिल्कुल नहीं आती थी. एंड तब हमें लगता था कि यार ये लोग तो नहीं रुकने वाले हमारे साथ, ये तो 100% श्योर है. तब हमें लगता था कि यार अब हम क्या करें, व्हाट टू डू नाउ, वी डोंट नो कोडिंग, राइट. देन वी डिसाइडेड दैट let's divide the responsibilities. I'll manage the app, Sandeep will look after the backend. Sandeep learned the backend from scratch. I learned developing apps from scratch. Coding का किसी को भी पहले experience नहीं था. Just used to sit and whole day used to learn coding and we started building this product, which eventually failed. वो aggregator वाला platform था जो हमने build किया था. तो वो कुछ months बहुत challenging थे हमारे लिए, जब हमें पता था कि build हमें ही करना है और कोई नहीं आने वाला हमें बताने के लिए, कोई guidance नहीं था हमें गाइड करने के लिए. सो दैट वाज वेरी वेरी चैलेंजिंग, बट समहाउ किसी तरह वो हमने पास कर लिया. बहुत दिनों बाद प्रोडक्ट बनाया हमने, दिवाली पे लॉन्च किया हमारा प्रोडक्ट. 14 नवंबर 2019 को ये एग्रीगेटर वाला प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च किया था. बट देन केम द सेकंड चैलेंज दैट वी स्पेंट लिटरली द एंटायर लॉकडाउन इन बिल्डिंग अ प्रोडक्ट एंड नोबडी वांट्स इट, नोबडी इज इवन इंटरेस्टेड इन चेकिंग इट आउट. शुरू में जितने भी यूजर्स थे हमारे, मतलब पेड यूजर तो कोई भी नहीं था जिसने हमारा वो खरीदा था. People just downloaded our app because again I broadcasted an email that this is our product. So we got around 100+ downloads on day one. उसके बाद से एक मतलब कई दिन नहीं निकल जाते थे कि एक भी डाउनलोड नहीं हो रहा. एंड लोग तो आ ही नहीं रहे. किसी तरह बहुत डिफिकल्टी से 3 कस्टमर हम लेकर आए और उसके बाद they also didn't repeat. So that was very very challenging. This मतलब ये पूरा first product का phase was extremely challenging, and there were times when we felt that अब कुछ नहीं बचा, we have to अब कुछ भी नहीं बचा, मतलब लगता था कि यार क्विट करना पड़ेगा क्या कभी कभी, और क्विट हम नहीं करना चाहते थे ऑब्वियसली. There was time when we didn't even have money left in our account. बहुत कम रनवे बचा हुआ था. That was so mentally pressurizing at that time, but yeah, somehow we managed. We kept our kept holding on the ground and थोड़ा बहुत patience रखा कि नहीं ठीक है करते हैं, डाइट वाला फील्ड का तब रेवेन्यू आने लगा. So that's when things got better, but before that it was very very horrible.
Yeah, that was a really tough phase during your startup journey. I think one of the big reason for the current success of Yoboshu Cares is the struggles that you faced during this journey that helped you to overcome those things and now help you to make such a successful startup. And this can be seen in a lot of the startups. Like if we see these success stories of majority of startups, then in most of them it wasn't their first or second startup that actually got succeeded. It's usually their third or fourth ones that after they failed a couple of times, then they are able to become successful.
That's right, and I think nobody gets very very few people get it right in the first time. Mostly you have to pivot, you have to change the way you're offering. So that's a part that you said it quite right, that people, they don't figure it out in the first term. They have to give it multiple tries.
तो काफी लोग जब स्टार्ट करते हैं ड्यूरिंग देयर कॉलेज टाइम, देन वो सोचने लगते कि अब तो कॉलेज ड्रॉप कर लेना चाहिए और सिर्फ स्टार्टअप पर ही फोकस करना चाहिए. सो हाउ डिड यू ओवरकम दोस फीलिंग्स एंड व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स अबाउट दिस?
Okay, so I had this feeling so many times. In fact, जब कोविड नहीं था and हमें क्लासेस जाना होता था, so I used to think every second day while sitting in class that I don't want to do this. I can't study here. I mean, I used to look at the blackboard, the board where they were writing the things down, and I used to think that is this what I'll do? Is this what I'm made to do? And that kind of at that time I used to feel very sad that how I'm wasting my time in this. But again, my parents, they spent a lot on my education, and they did a lot to get me to that level. And IIT did help me. I won't deny that. So yeah, I just somehow I felt ठीक है करते हैं. And then COVID happened. Everything went off. So although COVID was a very tough phase for a lot of people, but for our startup, it kind of gave a cushion. Although I wish that COVID never happened, but it gave us a cushion that because everything went offline, online. There were no classes, nothing. So I could give my entire time to Yoboshu, and we just came together and we started working on it full time. So that's one good thing.
Yeah, probably COVID has been a blessing in disguise for a lot of people to start doing something different that they were long been trying to do.
Yeah, although it was a very bad time, I wish that COVID didn't happen ever, but yeah, it gave us that cushion. And अगर मेरे को पर्सनली ऐसा लगता है कि अगर क्लासेस होती, because in third year there are so many subjects, so many things going on, so I might not have been able to manage all that, along with the pressure of the startup. So yeah, it's fine.
So what is the biggest quality you have observed in your other co-founder, Sandeep?
So his biggest quality, and I think it's the most important one, is that he is very very resilient and very very patient. Whenever something bad happens in our company, I am the first one who feels sad, I'm the first one who feels down, but he is always like pushing every time that no, we'll get over it, don't worry, we'll get over it. And I think the entire team, he maintains the motivation of the entire team even in the hard times, which I fail to do. So I think that's a very very important quality, and without that quality you can't sustain in a startup. Thankfully I'm here because he's here. Yeah, so we kind of complement each other in that terms.
Yeah, that's a really nice set of qualities that he possesses, like both the patient and perseverance. It's really a balanced team for both of you and the other team members.
That's right.
So what advice would you like to give to all the college students who wanted to start their own startup?
Okay, so I would like to say to all of them that give your best to your startup. Don't think of कि बस ठीक है, अगर successful हो जाएगा तो हो जाएगा. Because I personally saw a lot of startups dying because of this attitude. Successful हो जाएगा तो हो जाएगा, वरना कुछ और देख लेंगे. Because होता क्या है ना, इससे आपका जो efforts आप दे रहे हो ना, उसमें कमी आ जाती है. So try to give your best. बाकी आगे जो होगा होगा. But yeah, don't treat it as a second option. Give it the entire priority that it deserves.
Yeah, that's very true. Like either a person is working full time on a startup or he is not working at all in a startup. There isn't any other option in the startup.
Yeah, and in fact, in college also people do go full time, although they can't say it that I'm full time here because they have their college degree. But I've seen people who they used to sit in their office day and night, no matter what, and in the class also they used to take the notebook and they used to see that ठीक है, अब क्या करना है. So such people they have their tendency to succeed, their probability of succeeding increases. Surely is nowhere, but yeah, can increase your probability that way.
Thank you so much, Shivanshi, for taking out your time to share your learnings and experiences. It would be really helpful to a lot of the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father. Thank you.